Hello and very good afternoon, and a warm welcome to all the dear students who are watching this YouTube session with me. So, today I'm back with one more amazing topic, and in this session, we are going to learn about the precious liquid that is water, followed by we are going to learn how can we purify this water. But before starting ahead, I would like to introduce our ODA class to all of you. The session that you're watching right now is in YouTube. And if you want to be the student of ODA class where you can learn many concepts, amazing concepts from your school syllabus with us, then you have to join to ODA class by enrolling yourself to the crash course. So students, crash course is a 1 week of fun learning which is going to start from coming Monday, where you're going to learn 6 sessions, where you'll be learning 6 chapters. You will be having 3 classes of math and 3 classes of science. So in this crash course, the most amazing part is that you're going to receive personal mentor teacher support. See students, in this YouTube session, I'll teach you, and after the session, I'll say tata, bye bye, I'll go. What if you have any doubt? To whom are you going to contact? You don't have any connectivity with us now, right students? But in case of crash course, if you have any kind of doubt regarding to your school or regarding to ODA class subject or anything, then you can contact to your mentor teacher. We will be assigning an amazing mentor teacher to you so that you can contact and who is going to give you a personalized support. Followed by, we also provide homework and test on app itself for more and more practice. Apart from all these, we also provide books to our students as a study material. So all these amazing benefits are there, are available in the crash course, but not in YouTube session. So students, do not wait. Get yourself enrolled. To enroll in this crash course program, all you have to do is you have to tap onto the link that is there in the description box. Click to that link and get yourself enrolled according to the price of your grades. So students, now I would also like to introduce myself. This is Sayada Nayaab. I am Science Master Teacher at ODA class. I am a postgraduate in biotechnology and I have more than 4 years of teaching experience. During this 4 years of journey, I have mentored and taught more than 15,000 students like you. And if you want to be one among them, the only way is through crash course. So students, in this session, we will be learning about the purification of water. Purification of water. But before moving ahead, I have an amazing question for all of you out there again. So students, can you all quickly tell me what is water in the comment section right now? You're studying since your class 1. I'm pretty sure about it. Yes, very good. Some of you have answered it as a liquid. Yes, a precious liquid. So students, if we define water properly, water is a substance that is composed of the chemical elements hydrogen and oxygen. Isn't it, students? So water is a substance which is composed of the chemical elements hydrogen and oxygen. So what I mean to say, it is H2O. This is how we oftenly write, right student? This is a water molecule. H2O is a water molecule. So students, it is that liquid which contains hydrogen and oxygen. So in water you will find 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. So H2O is nothing but your water. Now talking about the speciality of this substance, that is this H2O, it is the only substance that exists in all 3 states of matter. Yes, it is the only substance that exists in all 3 states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. So students, ice, which is the solid form of water. When you heat this ice, it will melt, that will turn into a liquid form, which is your water. When you heat this liquid, it will evaporate and starts forming the water vapor, which is the gaseous state. So students, always remember it's a substance, okay, which is composed of hydrogen, 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen, followed by it is the only substance that exists in all the 3 states, solid, liquid and gas. Apart from that, students, water has amazing properties. Similarly, students, in our previous session, we learned about air, where we learned the properties of air. So, students, similarly, even water has some magical properties. Water has no color. Water has no color, taste, or smell. So, students, just like the air, even water is colorless, water is smellless, and water is tasteless. Followed by students, there is an amazing tag given to the water. Water is considered as the universal solvent. Yes, please take a note. Water is considered as a universal solvent. So, can you all try telling me why are we considering water as a universal solvent? Any one of you in the comment section, you can go ahead writing that why should we consider water as the universal solvent? Students, the only reason that why we consider universal solvent is because it can dissolve many things. Water has this amazing property of dissolving many things. That is the reason why water is considered as a universal solvent. My dear students, all of us are dependent on water, right? Our day starts with water, our day ends with water. Our whole body, right? 70% of our body is composed of water. So we cannot cook without water, है ना? We cannot, we can stay alive or for 3 to 4 days, we can we can be there without food, but we cannot be there without water. This is what most of us say, and this is what even we have experienced, right? So, whenever we fast, right? So, after breaking the fast, the first thing that we go through is that we need water. So, water is everything. We use water in our day to day life, we use water to generate electricity, we use water for many things, right? So, students, but this water, most of the time, these days, it's polluted one. It has impurities. And the consumption of this water or the usage of this water that has already been polluted can result to any danger. It can be harmful for the health as well. So students, in this session, I'll be teaching all of you the different methods to purify the water. How a person can purify the water in the laboratory way, okay, in the lab or at the home or at in a larger scale. So followed by first we are going to learn what are the impurities that are present with water. So students, when rain falls, okay, when rain falls to the ground, it gets mixed with many impurities. It gets mixed with many impurities that pollute the water. Students, the impurities that dissolve in water are called soluble impurities. So whenever rain falls to the ground, it's mixed with certain impurities that will pollute the water. Those impurities that can dissolve in water are called as soluble impurities. Okay? Similarly, students, those impurities that do not dissolve in water, okay, that do not dissolve in water are called as insoluble impurities. For example, your sand and chalk powder cannot be dissolved in water. So always remember, students, there are two main types of impurities that are present in water: soluble impurities and insoluble impurities. Soluble impurities are those impurities which can dissolve in water, which can mix in water. Okay? Followed by insoluble impurities are those impurities that cannot dissolve in water. My dear students, if you're thinking, ma'am, why are we discussing about the soluble and insoluble impurities? It is because, we have different purification methods for different types of impurities. Okay, students? Now, first, what we will try to do? We will try to remove the insoluble impurity. So now we will be learning the different methods through which we can remove the insoluble impurities. Okay? So what is insoluble impurity? Keep in mind, okay, which do not dissolve in water. Followed by students, insoluble impurity can be removed by three methods. Can be removed by following three methods: filtration, sedimentation, and decantation. So these are the three methods through which we can remove the insoluble impurities. So now let's talk about the filtration. So whenever we hear this word filtration, it means to filter anything, right, students? So how is filtration done here? It is the process of separating insoluble impurities which are present in a liquid using a filter paper. Here comes the important thing. When I talk about filtration, usage of filter paper. So we usually get this filter paper. We call this filter paper as Wattmann's filter paper. Okay? Every laboratories has this paper, students. So when I used to do my masters, I have used this filter paper a lot. And this is the easiest way one can remove the insoluble impurities. This works just like the sieve. है ना? So you must have seen in your households as well. All of us love drinking tea and coffee. And our parents, they use the sieve to strain it to filter the tea or coffee, right? The way that strainer or sieve functions, similarly, even this filter paper will work. Okay? So students, basically, in this filter paper, there are tiny pores. Okay? You will find tiny pores in this filter paper. Okay? So you will find these tiny pores in the filter paper, and these tiny pores will block the impurities and will allow the rest liquid to pass, just like this image. Okay, students, just like this image. So let me just show things in detail. So the tiny pore of filter paper will allow the water to pass. So how do we do filter paper? We take a beaker. This is on the small scale purpose, students. We take a beaker, we take a cone, okay? So, and to that, we take a funnel. To that, we will make that paper in a cone shape and we place that paper. And we start pouring this liquid that is to be filtered. So students, those impurities, okay, insoluble impurities will get blocked here. Okay, these are the impurities which will get blocked, followed by the liquid will pass down. And this is the purest form of liquid that has been collected through the filter paper. That is through filtration method. So followed by that, students, this method is used to remove light suspended impurities from water. So we can use filtration only to remove light and suspended materials. Now students, the next method that we are going to learn is the sedimentation and decantation. Students, sedimentation and decantation, they work hand in hand. So first let's learn about the sedimentation. Yes, so sedimentation is the method of separating impurities in a liquid by allowing them to settle down. The term settle down is very, very important here. Okay? Settle down. What do? We allow those impurities to settle down in the bottom. That is how we separate. The best example is through separation of muddy water by allowing those particles to settle down in the bottom. This is very easy, students. All we have to do is take a muddy water, try this experiment at your home. Take a muddy water, okay, and let it rest for 1 hour, 2 hours, okay. After some time, if you see that beaker, you will see two layers, okay. You will see two layers. So the top layer is the liquid layer, which is your clear water. At the bottom, this is a mud or those impurities that has been settled down. So those heavy impurities will settle at the bottom and the liquid will be there above. So this is your sedimentation. Now how about decantation? After sedimentation, students, the clean water that is present is now poured out into the another container. Okay? The container, that is your sediment container, where the particles have been settled down, right? That is your sedimentation. Now we will take another clean container and we will pour this top water. Okay? This is called as decantation. This is called as decantation. So students, Sedimentation and decantation, they work hand in hand. Okay, so always remember, okay, that sedimentation like decantation is incomplete without the sedimentation. Okay, so there are three methods of purification of insoluble impurities. We can purify it, that is, one is through filtration by using filter paper, okay, that works like a strainer, followed by sedimentation, where we allow those particles to settle down in the bottom. Okay, and then what do we do in decantation? We use that sedimentation product, and then what do? We pour it. And the top water will be poured in the another clean container. That is your sedimentation and decantation. So this method is only applicable for those impurities which are not soluble, which do not dissolve in water. Now, students, how about those impurities? How about those impurities which dissolve in water? How can we purify it? How can we purify it? So, students, now it is time to purify soluble impurities. What are soluble impurities? These are the impurities which are soluble in the water, which dissolve in the water. So, students, soluble impurities are removed by two methods. One is through evaporation followed by distillation. Again, students, this method is interlinked to distillation. Okay, so first we'll be learning what is evaporation. So this is a natural process which you have already learned in your class 3 as well. I'm pretty sure you have learned about water cycle, where evaporation is one of the steps. What is evaporation, students? It is the process when you heat a liquid, when you heat a water, right? It starts forming water vapor, isn't it, students? That is your evaporation. So evaporation is the process by which water changes from a liquid to a gas or a vapor. So this is the definition of evaporation, students. Now let us see how distillation works. Students, evaporation is already there in the distillation part as well. So I'll be telling you how distillation works, and you will get to know how, with the help of evaporation, we can purify the water. So students, in case of distillation, here it's a method of changing a liquid into its vapor. This is the first step. What do we do in distillation? It is the method where we change a liquid into its vapor. That is nothing but your evaporation. Okay, this is nothing but your evaporation. So once the liquid is changed into vapor, what do? Then we condense it. We condense the vapor to get pure form of that liquid. This is your condensation. This is your condensation, students. Always remember, in distillation, there are two important steps. It works on two steps. First is the evaporation. Second, it is the condensation. So first we heat the water, we change that liquid into gaseous state. Then we cool that vapor and we change that back into the liquid state. So students, this process is called as evaporation. This process is called as distillation, where a liquid is transformed into gas, and now this gas is transformed back into liquid. So this whole thing goes in the distillation unit. Okay? This whole thing runs in the distillation unit. So students, it's very easy to remember. Very easy to remember. If you remember this, you can easily define the distillation, as well as you can easily describe its process as well. What is distillation? Evaporation plus condensation is the distillation. Clear, students? Very easy. Okay, there is no point of getting confused here in the distillation. First, we heat the liquid. And when we heat the liquid, what happens? It turns into the vapor form, in the gaseous state. Now what do? We take this vapor, we cool it down, right? We cool it down, then this vapor turns back into a liquid. Okay, that is your condensation. So this is the whole process that is happening in the distillation. It's very, very important for all of us to understand it first. Then we will be learning how can we purify the water through the distillation. So these are the two methods. I mean, evaporation plus condensation will give you distillation. So students, it's not that easy to, to achieve a distilled water. Okay? We need a proper setup for that, and that is through a distillation unit. That is through a distillation unit. Students, you will find this unit in the laboratories. Okay? Most of all, specifically in all the science laboratories, you will find this distilled water because this is the purest form of water. The water that we achieve from the distillation is the purest form of water, which is good, okay, which is there for the usage of performing experiments or other things. So students, to get this purified water, that is distilled water, we need a proper unit for this, and this is called as a distillation unit. What is a distillation unit, students? So see, here you have certain instruments. Okay, so you have a burner here, you have a stand which is holding a flask. This is a flask. You have a thermometer over here to check the temperature regularly, followed by you have a water condenser here. Okay, this is a water condenser. Then you have a cold water inlet, and you have a flask where the distilled water is collected. So students, the steps are very easy now. First, what do? We take the sample here in the flask. This is our sample. Okay? We take the sample and we heat it. So once the liquid starts heating, there is a rise in temperature. Okay? And now this liquid turns into gaseous state. It starts forming water vapor that is passed on to this water condenser. Okay? These vapors are now passed where? To the water condenser. So from the below, what do? We start supplying cold water. We start supplying cold water. Okay? So this is a cold water inlet. When we start cooling this condenser, the vapors that are present here will turn back into the liquid which is collected here in this flask. Okay? So this is where we collect the distilled water. This is where we collect the distilled water. So students, this step is the evaporation. Here evaporation is happening. Okay? At the same time, when it is cooled, when we cool the condenser, here it is condensation which is happening. So students, this is how a distillation unit runs. Okay? Where we heat the liquid, we heat a sample, where the water vapors are passed to the condenser. We will cool this condenser. Then this water vapors turns back into the liquid, and which will be collected here in the flask. So students, this is for a general information to all of you that how this works. I mean, how whole distillation unit works. So first, water is heated in a distillation flask. Then water evaporates, the steam formed enters the condenser. The condenser is kept cool by circulating the water around it, followed by hot steam cools and changes into water again, and the condensed water is collected into another container where you receive the purest form of water, that is your distilled water. So students, distilled water have many usages. We use this distilled water in making of medicines, in making of injections. At the same time, we use this distilled water, okay, in making of batteries as well. In the batteries, car batteries and all, we use the distilled water only. Now the question arises, is distilled water safe to drink? Is it potable? Right? Yes, it is potable, but it tastes quite differently comparatively to the other, usually the water which we drink. Okay? So students, now that's how we can purify the water in the laboratory scale, in the lab scale. How about home? How about home? So students, basically we cannot keep a huge distillation unit. We cannot use filter paper to filter things, or we cannot use sedimentation and decantation for each glass of water. So then how can we purify the water at home? Basic things, students. We can purify the water at home through following methods, that is boiling and by using purifiers. So all of you know, students, in our home, at my home specifically, we boil the water, we strain it in a clean cloth, okay, and then we consume that water. So students, every household performs this function. It is very, very important. What do we do in the boiling? We boil the water for 20 minutes and then we filter it. Why do we boil for 20 minutes? So that to ensure if there are any germs or any, any germs or any bacteria or any impurities which can cause any harm shall be killed. है ना? So we do this boiling to kill the germs, and we do the boiling so that the soluble impurities can remove. Okay, this is the basic thing that we can do at home. Followed by, we can also use the purifiers as well. So students, using water filters, one can purify the water. All of us use it, right? So this is how we do it at home. Now students, what do you think? The water that we receive, that we get in our taps, is it a purified one? Or is it the direct water which is connected to the river and we are getting that direct water? Can you all tell me the color of water which you get it in the tap? I mean from the tap. Is it muddy? I mean it has some brownish color, muddy color. No, right? We get the pure one only. That is what we think. But students, how are they purifying it? So students, usually in the towns and cities, there is a water treatment plant. In every towns and cities, there will be a water treatment plant where, so the government or the organization who supply the water, they ensure that the water is treated first. It is purified first and then it is supplied. Okay? So students, this is a water treatment plant, and now here the water is treated in 3 steps, that is sedimentation, filtration and chlorination. So students, all of you know why sedimentation and filtration is done. Sedimentation and filtration is done to remove the insoluble impurities. Okay? Remove the insoluble impurities. So student, what happens? First step is where, first let me show you this treatment plant. You can see there are large tankers over here, right students? So these are directly connected. So there is a water over there. So students, first what do? They allow the water to settle down. Okay? So they allow the water to settle down. So once the water is, once all those impurities are settled down, they decant it, okay, and they filter it through using a filtration. The way we use a filter paper as a medium, even they use other filters to filter the water. So once that filtered water is collected, it undergoes the next step, the final step, that is chlorination. Very, very important, chlorination. What is chlorination means? Addition of chlorine to the purified, to the filtered water. Okay? When we add chlorine to the filtered water to kill the germs, that process is called as chlorination. Very, very important step. Okay? So these are the 3 steps that is followed in water treatment plant to treat a water. First, they allow that water to settle down. Okay? They allow those insoluble impurities. Then once the insoluble impurities are settled down, they will pour the water through filters, that is filtration is done. Followed by, once the filter water is ready, they add chlorine to it to kill the germs, that is called as chlorination. So after this process only, they supply the water. Okay? Municipality or the organization will supply the water to our household. So students, this is how we can purify the water at home, and the water is treated in the water treatment plants in a larger scale. So students, this is about the chlorination. Okay? Followed by here again. So students, in just minutes, you learned what is water. You learned different properties of water. You also learned why water is called as universal solvent. Followed by, you learned what are the impurities that are present in water and how we can purify these impurities. Soluble impurities, insoluble impurities, okay, at the laboratory scale, at home, followed by in a larger scale. So students, in just minutes, you have learned this amazing topic in an easy way, in a detailed, in a crisp manner. So students, if you want to learn many such concepts with us of your school textbook, of your school syllabus, then you can join to crash course. So this crash course is going to start from coming Monday. Okay? It's a 1 week of program where you will be having maths and science session, wherein you will be learning 3 chapters from maths and 3 chapters of science from the dual teachers of ODA class. So we here in the crash course, we follow dual teacher model. You will be having best master teacher who is going to teach you in the live class. Okay? You will be getting science master teacher and mathematics master teacher. After the class, if you require any kind of post-class support, whether to guide you, to counsel you, or to monitor your performance, or to conduct one-to-one doubt session, you will be assigned with an amazing mentor teacher who is going to give you a personalized class support. Apart from all these students, there are other benefits of enrolling to this crash course, wherein we'll be providing the homework on app itself, followed by we also give you tests for more and more practice. And we also provide study materials for our students as well. So students, all these amazing benefits have already been availed by many students and they are getting benefits from it. So now it's your time that even you get yourself enrolled to this crash course. To get yourself booked to this program, all you have to do is you have to check the description box. Click to that description box. Below you will find the link. Click to this link and get yourself enrolled at rupees 29, 49 and 99 according to your grades. By this students, your seat will be confirmed and you're going to attain the crash course from coming Monday. My dear students, seats are very limited. So do not wait, do not miss this amazing opportunity where you can learn 6 chapters in 6 days. My dear students, after enrolling, do not forget to download this ODA app, which is also available in Play Store as well. Students, once you download the ODA app, you are going to receive gift from our end, that is ODA coins. With the help of these ODA coins, you can visit our ODA mall, wherein you can buy all those amazing gifts. Now students, do not forget to hit a like, share and subscribe our channel. I'll be back again with an amazing topic. Till then, do take care and bye-bye.